pains me to say this at times because I've been doing this and this really is a labor of love. We've made the very, very difficult decision to cancel Thunder Over Louisville this year.
Louisville's long-standing annual tradition, Thunder Over Louisville, won't happen this year. The Kentucky Derby Festival made that decision Saturday, saying it would be impossible to put on the event safely this year because of the extreme flooding at the waterfront. And thanks for joining us here at 5:30. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Profit, and joining us now live, as you can see, we have a full studio here. Matt Gibson, of course, the president and CEO of the Kentucky Derby Festival, who had to make that tough decision, and retired head of the National Weather Service, meteorologist John Gordon, who has now joined the WHS 11 Weather Impact team. So, Matt, I'll start with you.
Yep.
You're the one who eventually had to come to the tough decision, and you made that Friday night?
It was Friday late, and it is a tough decision. I've been doing this a long time, but when presented with the data that we were, it was the right decision, and then it became the easy one. And then it was a model of when do we get the information out to start to help those who are doing as much preparation work as we are to be prepared for that. And, you know, having worked with John and his team for years, backing us up and being the overwatch for everything that we do for our events to keep them safe, we knew it was the right decision.
Let's talk about, you know, obviously you had a press conference this weekend.
Yes.
But for the folks at home that maybe didn't see that whole press conference, kind of explain to us, and John could jump in here too, about
Certainly.
the dangers. And, you know, there were people who were like, oh, well, why can't you postpone it? Or what about the air show? Or isn't there a way to pull it together? Kind of explain what those dangers with the rising water are.
Certainly. And for those who have lived here all their life, they know that the Ohio is a big factor in anything that you do along the Louisville's waterfront. And even when that body of water is tame and in its summer pool, it's still running a lot of water over the dam and through the locks. When the water starts to rise, then it becomes challenging to not only be and host a lot of folks at one of the largest open air venues in the country along the waterfront. There's a lot that we have to do on the water. There's, you see that debris. We've got to put an air show center marker right in the middle of the air box that the pilots can reference as they're doing their aerobatics. And without that there, they lose their point of center reference, even if we have our big light markers around. Then we have the barge operations that are out there, and they're very high horsepower, but you're in a restricted zone when you are west of the 2nd Street Bridge because the locks are behind you and the dam is behind you. And we have a lot of safety teams out there. There's, at last count, I want to say 48 law enforcement from a local, federal, and state out there just to provide safety for the jumpers, the skydivers, the on-water folks, and all of that. And there's no reasonable position.
Matt, some of the video we're showing there, that was Louisville, and the latter part of that video, by the way, was Frankfort. John, you saw that water. Look how close it was to I-64. That was just this afternoon.
I know, guys, we're more than 2018.
Right.
And talk to them about the barges. That's really what people don't understand.
That is.
Because there's water coming down from St. Louis.
Yes.
You've got water coming down from Cincinnati, so Cairo and Paducah, what does that do
But
to you?
isn't the real concern getting 500,000 people down there and maybe also some kind of tragedy happening as well?
Absolutely.
Because you've got that water is now taking all the viewing space.
And as you've heard us say over the years that the water sets the limit or the crowd line. When you're losing that much real estate, I mean, right now there's no real estate down there at all. I mean, the mayor was there. I was there yesterday, and we were looking at it, and you'd be on the other side of 64 on the South Great Lawn trying to watch a show, and just the current that they'd be fighting, it would be almost impossible to keep the barges exactly where they're geo-positioned in order to launch the fireworks. And it is geo-positioned to the foot.
Matt, how does not having Thunder hurt the other festival events? Did it help fund those events?
So it's kind of the flip. The rest of the festival events fund Thunder Over Louisville because that's the largest event that we do and takes the most resources. And it really is all the Pegasus pin sales and the success of each event really helps stabilize that event. Our sponsors, the Thunder Funders, your all's partnership, all of those things help that kick off and one of the most spectacular events in the country. When you said, how does that hurt? I thought you were asking me because it is a labor of love.
Well, in the end, at your news conference Saturday, I thought you did a great job putting it into perspective that in the end, folks, it's a fireworks show. We've had 2 fatalities in Kentucky. We don't want want that tragedy
don't want
in
that.
Louisville. And I do want to say that this Saturday, we were the Thunder Station.
Yes.
We are holding WHAS 11, Rising Above the Storm. It's a fundraiser for flood recovery and the Thunder Spirit, live from 6 to 11. Matt's folks will be here. We're going to turn it into a fundraiser for also the American Red Cross Louisville chapter, along with full flood coverage. That's going to be Saturday coming up, as we also will bring you highlights from Thunder's past.
Yeah, and I may bring some sparklers or something.
Okay,
because it's
all
just
right.
not the same, and it's. But it was the right decision. The mayor and I talked right after his segment, and there's just no model.
All right.
That
Well, thank you both
Thank
for
you
coming
very
in. We
much.
I think the
appreciate it.
public understands that
yes,
too.
yeah, I would think.